Shalom. Call Allah Yahweh Basham Yahushua Ba'asham Kodash. Double understand the other apostles. Honors and salutations to you, Akim, the slaver. Alright, Shalom to the whole elect of the nation of Israel. Alright, Shalakia. My new channel got hit with a strike. They said that pretty much uh due to negative comments about the COVID-19. So, they trying to censor you know um videos and cut videos from the YouTube channel, but through the spirit and power of Yahweh Basham Yahushua, I'm going to continue to push out these videos of edification for the hopefully elect. All right. Now, if you notice, when you go to the Rob Bond working channel, most of my videos has been about the RFID and the pestilence. The last month, almost 2 months or so. Each week I'm reporting on it. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Basham Yahushua, just doing my job as a watchman. And looking at how things are turning out as far as this pestilence, which is called the coronavirus or COVID-19. How every other month seems like every 2-3 months is a new strand of it, and pretty much that's Esau. He's putting out a stronger strand of it so it can affect more people, because the first wave of it, or the first couple waves of it, it wasn't as strong and it didn't affect a lot of people. You notice the death toll, the real death toll of the pandemic is very low, very low. All right, so it's not even high enough to even consider. It's just Esau's narrative. Their narrative that Esau's pushing. The top Edomites. The elite Edomites, the Amalekites. They're pushing through their mainstream news media. But those of us that are enlightened, we are full aware of what's going on. As far as us Israelites that are grounded and rooted in Yahweh Basham Yahushua, we understand fully what's going on, because we have understanding of the scriptures, because the Most High blessed us through His Son to have knowledge of the scriptures and understand, to understand, more importantly, prophecy. So, without any further ado, let's jump right into it. The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse. I'm going right to the point. Verse 49, and it reads, I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death. All right, and that's what's coming to Babylon, man, which is America. All right, you're gonna experience all that: widowhood, poverty, famine, death, pestilence, which we're already experiencing. All right, the sword is upon us, especially as Israelites. All right, that dwell, all right, in Babylon and throughout all the countries and lands that we are scattered to. One thing that about this COVID-19 or coronavirus is that it mainly targets Israelites. All right, if you're paying attention. So, if you're watching, you understand that Esau is outright trying to, just in our face, man, trying to destroy Israelites, man. So you Israelites are not paying attention, shame on you. Okay. Now, I got my I do my precepts, but anyways, I'll go right to it, because one thing I want to bring up is the fact about these different plagues that the Most High hit old Egypt with, which I mentioned in one video. I'm going to get. All right. Because it's very important history, especially when you look back at the different plagues that the Most High hit the old Egypt with. Remember, the Most High said in that same chapter I was just reading, out of the second Ezra, the 15th chapter. In that same chapter, he said that he would smite Egypt with plagues as before. Excuse me. Now, the Most High Heavenly Father, he was not talking about old Egypt. He was talking about the new Egypt. All right, which is spiritual Egypt. All right, it's known as Sodom and Egypt because it's spiritually Sodom and Egypt. All right, the old Sodom and Gomorrah and the old Egyptian captivity or Egyptian empire all over again. With the Edomites being, the Egyptians. All right, so let's look at one of the old plagues again. It says, Exodus chapter 9, verse 13, it says, And Yahweh said unto Moses, Rise up early in the morning, and stand before Pharaoh, and say unto him, Thus saith Yahweh power of the Hebrews, Let my people go, that they may serve me. For I will at this time send all my plagues upon thine heart, and upon thy servants, and upon thy people, that thou mayest know that there is none like me in all the earth. For now I will stretch out my hand, that I may smite thee and thy people with pestilence, and thou shalt be cut off from the earth. And in very deed, for this cause have I raised thee up, for to show in thee my power, and that my name may be declared throughout all the earth. And those of us, as far as us men of Israel that are teaching, we playing the part of Moses. Moses published the Most High name, all right, and made known, right, his secrets to Moses, and Moses told us, the children of Israel, and also Moses told Pharaoh what the Most High would told him to do, what he would do to him, as far as concerning, if he would not let us go, that he would hit him with these different plagues. And one of the plagues happened to be pestilence. Now, if you look into the old Egyptian captivity, all right, because you have different diseases that are here today or around today, all right, that was around during the old Egyptian empire at its end. When the Most High began to hit them with plagues, different diseases was around that are still here today. All right, so one of the plagues is malaria. All right, now look at the COVID-19 and its plagues, and you will see that it has a lot of plagues. All right. Sorry, not a lot of plagues, but a lot of symptoms. I'm sorry, a lot of symptoms that was within malaria, was in or within the malaria disease. There are very similar symptoms as the coronavirus or COVID-19. That's what I was trying to say. I'm sorry. So it says malaria and the plague in ancient Egypt. It says the ancient Egyptians, Chinese, and Greeks are all believed to have suffered from malaria. Some Egyptian mummies show signs of it. Symptoms of the disease were described by Aristotle, Homer, Socrates, and Hippocrates. And in Nei Ching, the Chinese canon of medicine, which dates back to 2700 BC, the decline of some Greek city-states and the fall of Rome have been attributed to malaria. Alexander the Greek likely died of malaria, which he died of syphilis. It says it may have stopped the armies of Attila, the Hun, of Attila the Hun and Genghis Khan. All right, so pretty much malaria was one of those plagues. Now, if you look at malaria, this is malaria right here from Google. You see, I'm on Google, right? I just typed in malaria. I clicked on symptoms. It says symptoms are chills, fevers, and sweating, usually occurring a few weeks after being bitten. So, it seems like you got to be bitten by something. It says people may experience pain areas in the abdomen or muscles, while it says whole body chills, fatigue, fever, night sweat, shivering or sweating, diarrhea, nausea or vomiting, fast heart rate, headache, mental confusion, or pallor. Now, some notable are what the COVID. You type in COVID. All right, COVID symptoms. See, fever or chills. It said fatigue, but fatigue is on here as well. It says shortness of breath or difficulty breathing, fatigue, muscle or body aches, headache. See, same thing. New loss of taste or smell, sore throat, congestion or runny nose, nausea or vomiting, diarrhea. These are some of the same signs, or symptoms that are within the malaria. So you can safely say by reading the symptoms that coronavirus has malaria within it. All right, because more than likely, you sort of have concocted different things that's going to cause different reactions within the body. All right, as far as within this virus. All right, so that's one of the old. Well, back to the article. That's one of the old uh, diseases or pestilence of old Egypt. Now let's jump down to this paragraph right here. It says in 2004, plague bacteria was found in 3,500-year-old fossilized fleas in a village formerly occupied by the October Egyptian capital of Amen. So they actually found traces of the different bacteria. All right, because it was high in bacteria. All right, as far as bacteria infections going on in old Egypt as well. All right, so keep that in mind. All right, and this is let's go. And this is how you know we at the end. All right, we're at the end because the Most High Heavenly Father, all right, said that He would begin with judgment at His sanctuary, which that's us, the Church of Israel, those that are not exempt from judgment. I want to go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 14. Let's see here, because it pertains to Israel. So if a lot of you Israelites out there are catching COVID-19 or coronavirus, you should consider your doings. Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 11, it says, Then said Yahweh unto me, Pray not for this people, for their good. When they fast, I will not hear their cry, and when they offer burnt offering and oblation, I will not accept them, but I will consume them by the sword and by the famine and by the pestilence. It's talking about Israelites, man. All right, this is what the Most High told Jeremiah, all right, the prophet Jeremiah back then. All right, when he got the vision during the old Babylonian Empire. Okay, so this time around, all right, Israelites gonna contract the same things. All right, as far as pestilence, you're gonna experience famine and the sword. All right, but notably the pestilence, because the pestilence is the main thing that's causing havoc. All right, that's a part of the sword. All right, the COVID-19 or coronavirus is actually fatal in some cases, So we expect, people to die, and a lot more people to die during this time because we're in a time of great judgments. All right, and so pestilence is clinging to people. It's no surprise. All right, now, notably, let's go to the book of Second Ezra 10. I'm sorry, Second Ezra 16. I mean, um, you know, what I was going to say, you know, a lot of you Israelites out there don't know what's going on because you ignore the Most High, all right, by using us as vessels. But one thing you're gonna come to grips with is that the Most High was really dealing with us, because the scriptures, it does say, then shall they know, who are my chosen, and it's talking about us men of the Lord during these evil times is gonna know that who are real true men of the Lord. All right. This is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 16, starting at verse 17. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The days that we're living in is what the prophet Ezra was talking about, because he's seen the vision, all right, of this Babylonian empire, which is Babylon the Great, or the virgin daughter of Babylon, being destroyed, all right, with all these different things, because it goes on to mention, what the prophet Ezra is going to mention in verse 18. It says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? It's the same thing we're saying spiritually, which we know that Yahweh Shai is going to be our refuge and our protection during these times. All right. Because we see, all right, everything playing out through the Spirit, all right, and manifesting itself, where we can actually see prophecies unfold. This pestilence was spoken about way back then in the old Babylonian Empire. I'm sorry. All right, but in the new Babylonian captivity, or I'm sorry, I keep on saying captivity, but empire, the new Babylonian empire, which is the virgin daughter, like I said, the virgin daughter of Babylon. All right, and just thinking about how it's going to go out. All right, the many ways it's going to go out. It's going to be horrific, man. People are actually going to die of these different things, man. I mean, we haven't even seen, much at all right now. I mean, it's going to get way worse than what we're seeing. These lockdowns because of this pestilence, which is the coronavirus, it's nothing compared to what's going to happen and how strong these different pestilences are going to get. Because, like I said, it's a new strand coming out every other month, man. Seems like. All right, verse 19, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. All right, so pretty much you're gonna see a lot of people starving to death, a lot of people in here with different plagues. Tribulation meaning troubles. A lot of trouble is gonna hit a lot of people, man, especially Israelites, man. Yeah, I remember 2/3 of our people are going to be put to death by the Lord. So we expect, the Israelites that are part of 2/3, to contract these different pestilences. All right, and for it to cleave unto them, because of one of the curses that the pestilence would cleave unto Israelites. Not all Israel, because the Most High have reserved to himself an elect. Lord willing, I'm a part of the elect. But I do know very well that this work is not over. It's not done. All right, you gotta continue in the race until the race is finished. Okay. All right. You have to trust that Yahweh Shem Shai will bring you through these perilous times, man. Because we're going through a rough period, as far as for us to be delivered from this place and the destruction of this place to happen, simultaneously at the same time. It's going to be a lot of things going on. It's going to be happening real fast. So keep that in mind, Akim. And you few sisters that watch and believe in Yahweh Shem Shai. Alright. Alright, this is Matthew 24. Starting at verse 6. It says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows." So we're at the beginning stage of sorrows. A lot of people are going to be taken by these different things. All right, he knows to keep mentioning the same things. All right, especially the famine and the pestilence. All right, so expect more people to die. All right, and this is our Lord, Yahweh Shai. These are His words. That's why it isn't red. All right, Yahweh Shai told Israelites that there's gonna be famines and pestilence. All right, no earthquakes, no death, the sword. A lot of destruction going to go on. But these are the beginning of sorrows. Alright. This place is going to go out way worse than the old Egyptian empire, because this is a place that is way far exceeded the wickedness of any empire that ever stood. Alright, any major empire that ever stood, this is far exceeding in wickedness. Alright. That's why the Most High have a special judgment for this place. Alright. So with that, Lord willing, you are edified. And I want to say shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Alright. All praise and glory to Yahweh Shem Shai, Ba'ashem Kakwadash. Till next time, I say shalom.